There are a lot of things that are required to make a good game, but as we all know, the top priority should never be fun gameplay or decent graphics. It should be Strongholds. Well, at least Minecraft has Strongholds, and it sold like over 100 million copies, so I guess I'll add them to my game and see what happens. But what is this mysterious game of mine? Into the Chasm is a top-down dungeon crawler where you must fight enemies, solve puzzles, and find the exit to each level based on an extremely detailed story. The 8th level is all about strongholds and fortresses, so in this video I'm going to be adding the new level to the game. I've been working on Into the Chasm for a long time with my team, but I've noticed that in the past few months not much progress has been made towards finishing. This is because while there has been a ton of progress, most of the new stuff has been unnecessary to finishing the progress, new things that weren't originally planned, so completing them doesn't actually get me any closer to finishing the completion of the game. Level 8, however, is essential to the game, but so are new abilities, so before I got to work on this new level, I forced myself to add a new spinning sword ability that also gives a small damage boost while it's active, so you can just run into a group of enemies and defeat them all. I then spent some time brainstorming new abilities, but with that out of the way, it was time to get to work on the Strongholds. When adding a new level, it's always a good idea to have a sketch of the layout. This is what all good game devs do. Obviously, I skipped this step and began placing tiles with no clue what I was doing. One thing I've noticed about Into the Chasm is that it's really hard to design good levels that are actually enjoyable and not repetitive. I really did want this level to be enjoyable though, so I decided not to rush anything. For the first area of the level, my brain was running on autopilot, so I don't really know what I did, but after the spawn area, I decided to actually begin working really hard on a perfect level. The next area is some void with a moving platform. It's pretty easy, and then you move on to this large twisty area. There are a few enemies, and the main danger is just a stone enemy in the center. After you survive this area, there's a large room full of spiders. This entire level is full of over 50 deadly spiders. If you manage to make it past that room, there's a small hall to a massive cavern. While you may want to explore the area, the better choice is to enter the first stronghold directly in front of you. The structure of the strongholds is a large area within some walls, divided up into a bunch of small, oddly placed rooms containing keys to the next room and lots of enemies. This design is really fun because every time you enter the room, you are scared of what enemies will spring on you. The design is pretty straightforward to navigate and to create, but there are always some secrets, and I find it relatively fun to design these layouts. After the first stronghold, there's another area of void before you enter the biggest area yet. Up ahead is the next stronghold, which is much harder to navigate and is full of many more enemies. There are a lot more extra rooms that are optional to get health potions, and the structure is much more complex. It may seem normal, but there's a major secret. In one of the hard to access extra rooms, there's a hallway that leads to an enormous loot room. It contains 2 ability chests, 2 big chests, and 4 small chests, with keys to open all of them. It seems fitting to keep all the best loot in the most secure area in the entire level, if not the entire game. This level is also really big. Like, it contains 150,000 tiles. Really big. The only level that will be larger will be the final level in the entire game. If you manage to escape this deadly stronghold, you enter a large open space full of enemies. You really do want to get out as fast as you can, but you need to explore to find the keys to the next stronghold and maybe some health potions along the way. After this, assuming you're still alive, you enter the last stronghold in the level, the weirdest structure of all. It's full of bats in odd places, and is designed to be a sort of communal gathering place for the ancient warriors and mages of the chasm. I considered making it a ton of tiny areas as sort of a last resort if they were getting defeated, but I decided to make it be more of a gathering area because the previous stronghold seemed like it would be the kind of thing that they would use as a last result if the first one was defeated. If you do manage to beat this area, you'll finally reach the end, with a surprising final spider that jumps on you to try to finish you off, and then the end of the level. Assuming you manage to beat all of this, you finally reach the end of this level, which is probably going to be one of the hardest ones in the game. I'm not sure how I'm going to make the boss battle even harder without making it too hard, but I think the main thing will just be the fear that you get from knowing that sort of the spirit of the chasm is around you, helping your enemies be smarter and be able to defeat you with better stats. So that's it, the entire new level in Into the Chasm. This video was a bit different, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, and make sure to follow me on Twitter and join the Future Games Discord server.